Hello everyone and welcome to my balcony garden. Today's video is actually a request. This is the first request I've ever done and it's come from my friend Ina. So Ina, if you're watching, thank you for the suggestion. Shout out to you. This video is about how to care for autumn or fall chrysanthemums, whether you're growing them inside or outside, and how to make their blooms last as long as possible. I have an autumn and winter gardening playlist. I will link it above and you can have a look at the videos if you're interested. Other than that, let's get started. So the autumn chrysanthemums, or mums, I'm probably going to refer to them as mums throughout the video because chrysanthemums is a bit of a mouthful. So they are in the daisy family, the Asteraceae family, and they're very, very easy to care for. They're cheaper often than other autumn or fall plants, and their blooms are just so beautiful and vibrant. And there are so many varieties and colours to choose from, so you're definitely going to find a mum that is going to suit your needs or for whatever you want to use them for. They're generally available to buy in the shops from around September through to October and November. Interestingly, autumn mums are what we call in botany photoperiodic, which means they begin to bloom in response to shorter days and longer nights. Hence the reason that these plants are being sold right now, because obviously of the time of year we're in autumn right now. And this is when it's their time to shine, these beautiful, lovely, sunshiny blooms. Oh, love them. So when you are buying your chrysanthemums, there are a few things to look for. This is going to help you to have blooms that are going to last longer. First of all, look for a plant that has more closed buds than open flowers, because I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory really. The little buds, the flowers haven't opened yet. So if you have a lot of small buds, then you're going to be able to enjoy them for longer. Whereas these buds, these flowers here, sorry, that they're open now, I mean, they're probably in their prime right now, but they're going to decline eventually. So look for plants that already have this beautiful show of flowers, but that also have a lot of buds. Make sure also that the leaves aren't yellowing and that there are no signs of pests or diseases on the plant or in the soil. Don't be frightened when you're in a shop to lift the plant and sort of inspect it a bit. You can even, tentatively take it out of its pot and have a look at its roots. That's going to give you a better idea of the health of the plant, because you don't want to be bringing potentially diseased or pest-ridden plants into your growing space, because it's just going to lead to loads of problems. So I would recommend doing that, obviously within reason. So once you have brought your mum home, or mums, it's time to find a place for them. So mums grow happily both inside or outside. They grow as pot plants. You can also plant them into larger beds or into larger containers. When looking for a spot for them, mums love full sun, so try and find a spot that's going to give them at least 5 to 6 hours of sun a day. If you're placing them outside, put them in a really sunny spot with full sun, or if you're growing them inside, put them on a really sunny, light windowsill. When you are growing them inside, make sure that the mums are as close to the light source as possible, because they are going to stretch towards the light source if they're far away from it, and of course that's going to cause leggy stems and weaker plants, and of course that's going to affect the blooming time as well. So we want to give the plant best chance of blooming for as long as possible. So watering, mums love water, so make sure that you are checking regularly the pots, that the soil is always moist but never saturated. So you don't want your pots sitting in water, but you don't really want them drying out either. Chrysanthemums are one of these plants that really tell you immediately if they are thirsty, because the leaves are going to wilt. That actually happened to one of my other chrysanthemums recently. It stayed out in the sun for a few days, and yeah, I mean, all the leaves were just looking really sad. So luckily, if you do water them, they've wilted, they're going to bounce back. However, it is going to affect the overall health of the plant probably, and also the blooms, because obviously the flowers are going to dry out as well. I would just keep on top of the watering, check it regularly so that the soil is nice and moist and the plants are happy. If you are transplanting your mums, so if you want to put them into a new pot, or you want to put them into a mixed bed or into a nice container, autumn container, mums really like free draining fertile compost. So make sure that the soil is lovely and prepared before you plant them. I would also recommend, if the plants have stayed in their pots for a while, there's a chance that they're going to be pot bound. So just loosen the soil around the roots and also loosen the roots out a bit. This is going to help them establish into their new home quicker. So fertilizing autumn mums, well, I wouldn't bother, to be honest, because they're not going to be growing that much. If you decide to overwinter your fall mums, which to be honest is a bit of a challenge, I'm going to go into that in another video, if your plants survive, I would wait until spring to then fertilize, because this is when the growth is going to start to take off. Some people do, though, fertilize their chrysanthemums. Just make sure that you have a potassium-rich fertilizer. This is going to help with the blooms. So once your beautiful chrysanthemum has flowered and has brightened up your life, what do you do with it after flowering? Well, generally speaking, the autumn mums, along with annual mums, are not suited for winter conditions. As I mentioned before, the varieties that are available right now, they're bred more for their beautiful blooms, and they're not really bred for hardiness. And even if you plant your mums out, all the energy right now for the plant is directed towards flowering. So there's not going to be much energy put into putting down roots. And of course, without strong roots, the plant isn't going to survive, and it's definitely not going to survive throughout the winter. The best time actually to plant mums is in spring. So this gives them the whole growing season to establish themselves, to put down roots. And this is of course going to help them with the winter to come, to survive that winter, because they are already strong in the soil. But if you're wanting to overwinter your fall mums and you haven't planted them out by about September, I would just leave it. You can, however, overwinter them in pots, and I'm going to be doing that in another video. But many people just decide to enjoy these fall mums as a sort of one-off bedding plant, and then they compost it when the flowering is over. So that was my video on how to look after autumn chrysanthemums. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you would like to support it. I hope you're all staying safe and well. I send you all my good wishes. I hope you're all enjoying autumn as much as I am, because it's so beautiful. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.